Hello, I'm Barbara Schmal, Broker Associate with Future Home Realty. Welcome to Florida Real Estate Info with Barbara Schmal. Today, I'd like to explain two topics that every Florida condominium buyer, seller, owner, and board member should understand. Milestone inspections and structural integrity reserve studies, also known as a SIRS. Since Florida condominium laws changed, I've spoken with many buyers, sellers, owners, and board members who are confused about these two requirements. Although they are related, they serve very different purposes. Let's begin with the milestone inspection. A milestone inspection is a structural inspection required by Florida law for many condominiums and cooperative buildings that are 3 habitable stories or higher once they reach 30 years of age. In some areas, local building officials may require the first inspection at 25 years because of local environmental conditions such as exposure to salt air. The purpose of the inspection is to determine whether the building's structural components are safe and whether there are signs of substantial structural deterioration that need to be addressed. One of the biggest misconceptions is that if a building requires a milestone inspection, something must be wrong. That simply isn't true. Many buildings complete their inspections with little or no significant structural issues. The inspection is intended to identify potential problems early so they can be addressed before they become major safety concerns. Now let's talk about the Structural Integrity Reserve Study, or SIRS. A SIRS is a financial planning tool. It evaluates major building components such as roofs, plumbing, electrical systems, paving, and other structural items. It estimates the remaining useful life, projected replacement costs, and the reserve funding needed so money will be available when those components eventually need replacement. I'd like to share something I experienced while serving as president of my own condominium association. Our community had completed both the milestone inspection and the structural integrity reserve study. While reviewing the reserve study, I noticed the roof was shown as having only 4 years of remaining life. The problem was that our association had already approved replacing the roof that same year, and the new roof was being paid for through a special assessment, not from the reserve account. Because the reserve study still reflected only 4 years of remaining life, the reserve calculations assumed the roof would need to be replaced again in just a few years. I brought this to the attention of the board and our property manager. Once the reserve study was updated to reflect the new roof and its expected 20-year life, the amount needed to fund the roof reserves changed significantly, and the projected monthly reserve contribution for that item dropped substantially. The owners still paid the special assessment for the new roof, but they were no longer funding reserves as though the roof was still nearing the end of its life. That experience taught me something very important. A reserve study is only as accurate as the information it contains. Another important thing to understand is that the Structural Integrity Reserve Study is not etched in stone. It's a planning document based on the information available when the study is prepared. Florida law requires qualifying condominium associations to obtain a structural integrity reserve study at least every 10 years. However, that doesn't mean the study should sit on a shelf until the next required update. If significant changes occur, the board should consider having the study reviewed and updated. For an example, if the association replaces a major component, such as a roof, completes a major restoration project, experiences significant hurricane damage, or discovers that the useful life of a component is different than originally estimated, those changes should be reflected in the reserve study. As a board member, don't simply accept the report because a professional prepared it. Review it carefully. Go through it line by line. Ask questions. Does the remaining useful life reflect the actual condition of the component? Has proper maintenance extended its life? Has deterioration shortened its life? Has a major replacement already been completed? The reserve study should accurately reflect the current condition of the property. Taking the time to review it carefully helps the board make informed financial decisions, and I'd also like to clear up another common misconception. Even if you live in a one-story or two-story condominium, your association is still governed by Chapter 718 of the Florida statute. While the Milestone Inspection and Structural Integrity Reserve Study requirements generally apply only to buildings that are 3 habitable stories or higher, many of the other condominium law changes passed by the Florida legislature apply to all condominium associations regardless of the height of the building. These include important requirements related to board member education, official records, financial transparency, fiduciary responsibility, conflict of interest, and other governance requirements. That's why it's so important for board members to stay informed and understand which laws apply to their community. One final recommendation I'd like to share is this. Take advantage of the educational seminars offered throughout Florida. Organizations such as condominium associations, attorneys, management companies, and government agencies frequently sponsor seminars to help owners and board members understand changes to Florida condominium laws and community governances. I encourage both unit owners and board members to attend these seminars. The more you understand your rights and responsibilities, the better equipped you'll be to make informed decisions and understand what board members and property managers are required to do under Florida law. Knowledge isn't just power. It's one of the best ways to protect your investment. Whether you live in a one-story villa community, a two-story condominium, or a high-rise on the beach, every owner benefits from understanding how their association is governed and how financial decisions are made. As both a Florida real estate broker associate and a community association manager and a former condominium board president, I've seen firsthand how knowledge helps communities make better decisions. My goal is to help buyers, sellers, owners, and board members better understand Florida real estate and condominium ownership so they can make informed decisions with confidence. I'm Barbara Schmal, Broker Associate with Future Home Realty. Thank you for watching Florida Real Estate Info with Barbara Schmal. If you found this information helpful, please click like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who may benefit from it. If you have any questions about Florida real estate or condominium ownership, leave it in the comments below. It may become the topic of a future episode. Thank you, and see you at the next episode.